Bang, bang! What's going on? Just to a new exciting edition of the main event on Talkin Hands. So, as I'm your host, Preston, joined by my host, Mr. Danny Betts. We'll break down this weekend's main event action as Diego Pacheco takes on Maciej Sulecki. As always, before we get into the fight of this week, we love to recap the fights that were. The one sort of big fight last week was Jarrett Hurd. He fought Jason Rosario to a draw. Danny, what were your thoughts on the Rosario Jarrett Hurd fight? Do you think the draw was justified, or did you have one of the guys edging it out?
Shout out to everybody in the chat. My boy Dixon, Mario Bartles, 420 Blaze up. And Hangry Dana. That motherfucker do be hangry for sure.
Yeah.
I did play one side. I had Rosario. I had him money line. Actually, no, I had him by decision. I think it was like plus 375. He started off slow. Hurd looked good, bro. His jab was really on point. He became all of a sudden now he became like a boxer fighting off the back foot. That's how he was fighting that fight. And then until Rosario started being, he definitely was more defensive. So he worked on his defense. They both did, because both of them.
Yeah.
Hurd's defense sucks. Rosario's obviously getting finished almost every loss except this one. And he picked it up. He was landing the bigger shots. And then he started taking over the fight too, and then it started going back and forth late. So the draw is fine with me, even though I lost my bet. I was pissed, but I wasn't. I mean, that was a good call. It could have been a split for either side or a draw. So that's how I saw that fight. But like they're both shot, man. Like
I thought Hurd looked bad to me.
he looked all right early, especially with the jab. And then like there was a couple moments when he actually let his hands go.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, you like back in the day, like when you used to actually brawl, but now you could tell he don't want to do that no more, bro. Like, and Rosario, same thing. When he would let his hands go, he would look all right, but he took a shot to the body, and that kind of hurt him a little bit. You can't trust his durability either. So these guys are both pretty shot. So I don't know what's next for them. It's a draw. So
Yeah. Yeah, I assume a rematch makes really the only sense because even I think Lubin was on commentary.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, okay, we'll see who wins this fight, who like puts themselves up there to fight like a big name. And you could tell when he was on commentary, he was kind of like, man, these guys aren't it. Like, not anymore. Like, so, yeah, no, it was like a fun little fight. I actually thought Rosario was going to knock him out because to me, I thought Hurd quit, I think 2 or 3 fights ago. I thought he was done 2 or 3 fights ago. So, but yeah, I thought the draw was justified as well. Dixon is in the chat asking, bro, who is boxing this week? I never heard of these guys. Dixon, you will hear of Diego Pacheco because Diego Pacheco is going to be a guy they're putting their marketing behind and whatnot, and he's young. So speaking of that fight, we're going to jump right into that fight. Main event this week, we have Diego Pacheco taking on Maciej Sulecki. Current odds at our favorite book, mybookie.ag. If you guys could, enter promo code PUBSPORTS, 15% deposit bonus match credit debit, 100% on the Bitcoin. You use the Bitcoin. Current odds have Diego Pacheco as a fairly sizable favorite, around minus 1,200. Sulecki plus 800. Pacheco KO minus 300. Fight doesn't go the distance, minus 400-ish. Danny, what are your thoughts on this fight? Do you think Sulecki can pull off the upset, or will Pacheco take him out?
I've been following Pacheco for a minute. I mean, he's only 23, so it's not like he hasn't been in the game that long. But Sulecki's been in the game for a while. He's fought like a lot of bums, bro. Like you look at his record,
the last couple fights, too.
Yeah. But his losses are good. You know what I mean? He lost to Demetrius Andrade and Jacobs. But, like, dude, like, if you really – I think his best win is Gabriel Rosado, probably. You know, back in the day, that was, like 5-6 years ago. He's, like, 35, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 34. And, dude, you got to actually watch the fights because people just, look at the records and they just assume with that. Like, this dude's been hurt in, like, a bunch of fights. His last fight against this dude named hold on, let me pull this up. You probably saw that fight too. He's
Yeah.
been hurt like multiple times. He's only got 2 losses against good competition, but
Rowdy Montgomery.
yeah, like Mr.
Yeah.
Rowdy Legend Montgomery.
Yeah.
He is like his record is ridiculous. He's 11-6. Been knocked out once, 1 draw. Like he's got 1 good decent win though. I give him that. But like he even hurt him early in that fight. But he was fighting over there in his hometown. A lot of people thought he lost, which I thought he lost too. Sulecki. But he did drop him later on in that fight too. So that did show some grit and things like that. He's a brawler, so Sulecki likes to brawl. But in this fight, he's going to be the smarter guy. This is at 168. Sulecki's fought at 160, 154. Dude, Diego Pacheco, he could box. Great jab. Young guy. Good power, dude. The thing here, bro, he's going to be, 4 inches taller, 11 inches of reach.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yep.
11 inches of reach. A whole foot of reach difference, bro. Like, he's going to be a way bigger guy here. He's the bigger kid. Big power. And I think, I'm going to cut it short. Like, I think he's got all the talent in the world to be a superstar. He's just got to tweak some things, like, defensively and know when to, like, brawl and know when to box. Because he could do both. He's trying to find his way how to mix things together. And I think we're getting a discount here because his last fight was against a tough guy that went all rounds. And then the fight before that, it went 9 rounds against another tough guy that's fought decent competition. And before that, he's only went past, like, all his knockouts are under 7 rounds except 4 fights. And it's been 2-3 fights since then. I think he gets back to that track. I think he's just going to overwhelm this dude. Like, I think the first couple rounds, he'll fill him out.
Yeah.
Use the jab, pick him apart from the outside. And then once Sulecki starts to get desperate, because, bro, the only way he wins this fight is he goes inside and he brawls with the guy because there's no way he outboxes Pacheco. Yep. He's going to, that's when he's going to make the mistakes. I think he's going to really break him down and get him out of here. The over-under, I'm surprised. Grab that shit now. I'm telling you, he's going to go down. Is -6.5 at Bet365. I think they're going to lower it to 5.5. I like 1-6, Pacheco. Shop around because FanDuel got +140. Other places got +100, +110.
Yeah.
My bookie, I don't think has it yet, but I like Pacheco to get this, knockout pretty early in the first half. Might take a couple rounds, in the beginning, but I think it gets him out here like 5-6. So it might be a little sweaty, but I'm going to get a little greedy and not even take because for me, the under is -120, and you get half a round extra.
Yeah.
Or you get the +140. So I think it's worth just, taking a shot, the gamble at the +140, 1-6 for Pacheco to get the knockout.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that because if you watch his last fight, it was a very slow fight with the opponent. It was an undefeated opponent. I felt like the commentary during the fight, I'm not saying they're like ragging on him necessarily. They definitely want him to open up. And really, once he did open up, he clearly took the fight over. He not easily won the decision. Biggest issue for Sulecki, you get dropped by Boo Boo in round 1 off of 1-2,
bro.
That's
so quick.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good, especially against a guy like Pacheco. I definitely think it's a tailor-made fight for Diego Pacheco. A little worried about his ceiling, though. In a lot of the fights I did watch, he was getting hit a little too much for my liking. But this fight is for him. Like, the reach advantage, the height advantage, the weight. Sulecki really has been kind of off since COVID, damn near, really since the Boo Boo fight. He had two fights recently, but prior to that, he hadn't fight since 2021. So definitely here for a paycheck. I like Diego Pacheco here. I like him to get the KO. What I want to give out, the problem is it's going to, I won't say interfere with a future bet, but there's a little parlay I would like to do.
I like a parlay too. See if it's the same one.
With a Pacheco Canelo.
Oh no, that's different.
Both KO.
But yeah, I like that.
Both
Yeah.
to get KOs. It's minus 130.
I like that.
So that's kind of giving the information out a little early here, but Canelo's due. Canelo's due for the KO too. So Dixon in the chat. Who's more likely to throw more punches? Who's more likely to land more punches? Most body shots? Can Pacheco get knockdowns? Need all answered, please.
These are always tough, but
I think every answer is going to be Pacheco.
yeah.
I think Sulecki's going to get destroyed, Dixon.
Yeah, there's no way Pacheco ain't getting knocked down.
Yeah.
Pacheco's going to be doing the knockdowns. Like,
yeah.
It's just can he get back up? Or that's the thing. That's what makes that kind of hard because it could be an early night. So I can't tell you, oh, yeah, Pacheco's going to land and throw this amount of punches when he could end this shit in 3-4 rounds.
And even that, like his Sulecki's, kind of what you were saying, like best win being Rosado. He got knocked down bad in that fight
twice
too.
In the 9th round, bro.
Yeah.
Bad.
So I don't want to, it's not I hate like a lock, type thing, but Pacheco, it's very heavily implied to me he's going to knock out.
All right, I'll say it. Fuck it. He's knocking this motherfucker out. Parlay minus 400, 500. I like the parlay what P said with Canelo.
Yeah.
Another one, the one I was thinking about is Pacheco by KO Inoue on Tuesday morning, 1-6. It gets you at minus 115. That's the part that I like too. So, yeah, he's gonna. If Pacheco, like, I get what you're saying with the Southern name. That's true. He's still got to prove a lot. And being this guy, he don't really prove a lot. But if you don't come out here and fuck this dude up, it's gonna look horrible on him. So he's gotta get the knockout. There's no way. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. Shout new member Zoe Faye. Thank you for becoming a member here at Pub Sports Radio. Very much appreciated. Andre's right there with you. Pacheco about to baptize this dude. And yeah, these are those where I won't say like haters or whatnot, but these are the setup fights. You bring your prospect in because Sulecki is a name still kind of for Pacheco. Pacheco should, kill this guy. And like Dixon said, if you guys could, please smash that like button. We're going to go right into the other fight here. Inoue. Inoue is fighting Tuesday morning, so unfortunately we won't be able to break down this fight too much. I'm sure we'll recap it next week, recap the Pacheco fight as well. We're where Danny was leaning 1-6. Danny, you think same old Inoue just steamrolled?
I already gave out mine. So this is another one. This is another one I think we're getting a decent price. Kind of, because the over-under is minus, it's 4.5 rounds.
Yes.
So I'm thinking we get the old Inoue. He used to finish guys like the first couple of rounds easy. I think we're getting a little discount, even though they did put it at 4.5. But dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't understand this. Bet 365 has 1-6 for Inoue minus 188. FanDuel and DraftKings have it like at minus 400, minus 350.
Yeah.
So grab that shit now. Like I said, if you want, you can even play that straight. I parlayed it with the Pacheco KO too. That was the one I was talking about. I think he gets it done early. TJ Doheny, good gritty guy, hasn't been knocked out, but he hasn't fought anybody like this. He has been known to cause upsets over there in Japan. I don't know if he moved there completely, but he used to live, have a house or something there and train there a lot. So he's has multiple, upsets over there. That shit ain't happening here. I think Inoue is gonna actually think about that and be like, you know what, you disrespected some of the guys I know, but they're not me. So I think it's an early night for him. Inoue, it's pound for pound king, or at least one of them for a reason.
Yeah.
This is another one. If he don't get this guy out of here, be the first one to really knock him out. it's gonna be a disappointment. But I think he knocks him out, bro. Early.
And I will say, in his last performance, while he did eventually get Neri out of there, he did get dropped. So he's going to be, I think, on the rampage, so to speak. And I agree. I think he's going to knock him out early. I'll never go against Inoue unless he moves up to like 130 or 130.
If he fights Crawford or Canelo,
Yeah.
that ain't never gonna happen. Obviously.
Yeah. No, I agree. Inoue's the man.
He
I
tank?
think. Yeah, I mean, they did talk about that.
I don't think it'll happen, but oh my god, I would love to see that fight.
I just think that's. Yeah, I don't know. That could be maybe 135, but that's still a big jump for Inoue to me.
That's a big jump.
Yeah. Danny, do you have or seen any boxing news before we can touch on best bets?
I hate this because I always do see it. Like literally, I saw something right after we left last week, and I don't remember. But
yeah,
you got anything that you can remember right now? Because I don't.
So the only I don't know if we touched on it last week. If we probably didn't, honestly, is Shakur Stevenson signed with Matchroom.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He'll be on the Better Be a Bivol card. That's big news. They didn't disclose the terms, but I found it very funny. Eddie Hearn was just sucking him off, like in the presser for it.
I mean, he's a promoter.
Yeah, of course, but
that's how he is.
I was just like, there's no way you believe what you're saying here. Like, he's the best, pound for pound boxer. His skills are unparalleled, yada, yada, yada. And then he's fighting Joe Cordona.
That was one of them. Thank you, Dixon.
Yeah, and that's good, too. Yeah,
that was one thing I saw.
Fight. Yeah.
Yeah, because, one thing I did hear that Norman Jr., shout out to a chick I know over here from Cleveland, Chevy Red. She does, like, interviews and stuff. And does media for boxing. She interviewed Norman Jr. and he said that they offered Teofimo the fight, and supposedly Teofimo turned it down. So I mean, that's what he said. I mean, I believe him. He said on screen the way he was saying it wasn't like talking shit. He was just saying it, straight up. And yeah, I would love to see that fight. Norman, man, he made me a bag last fight too, but I ain't going against my guy Ennis. I'll tell you that right now. And these guys have a little bit of history. They sparred with each other, but I mean, sparring is sparring sometimes. But I think Ennis is just too much. The thing is how much Norman could take. But I would love to see that fight though, because Norman's definitely underrated still.
Yeah, I know. Boots. He said he sent contracts out to a couple guys, and nothing has been confirmed. But yeah, if that fight happens, it'll be a great fight. Dixon, yeah, I do think that's going to be the fight. Crawford Virgil, I do think they're going to make that fight because they don't want Virgil to fight Buachuk again. They don't want that fight again. So I do think that'll be the fight that they make, and should be a fun fight. Should be a very fun fight. That being said, I guess we can roll right into best bets because there's not really much else to talk about. And we want to get out of here before the fellas go live for Dana White Contender Series. If you guys could join them tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, Dana White Contender Series Week 3. Some big underdogs. Who knows if they'll come through or not?
Shit.
I think they're due. I feel like underdogs are due.
Let me toot my own horn a little bit. The only underdog that has won this whole Contender Series 3 weeks, I cashed on. All the favorites won, bro.
Yeah.
They were 9-1 or 10-1 or some shit like that. So
I feel like that's the UFC.
But I do think tonight we see at least one for sure. So I don't have no bets for tonight for Contender Series because there's a lot of fights that's tough calls. And then there is value in the lines, but I'm not too confident. But we'll see. But I think there is a dog or two that wins tonight.
Yeah. Dang, you want to start her off?
Yeah, best bet. I mean, Pacheco. I'm gonna get, if you want to be a little bit safe, just for half a round, you get for under 6.5 rounds. For the under, I think is minus 120. You get 6.5 rounds, but I'm going with 1-6 for Pacheco to get him out of there for plus 140. I think that's a better line. If it was a little bit closer, if it was like plus 110 or something like that, I would bet the under. But plus 140, I see a little bit more value in that. And I think Pacheco's the one that gets it done. But yeah. 1-6 for Pacheco.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I'm gonna go back and it's like quote a future type bet, but Pacheco KO, Canelo KO, minus 125 actually for both those. If you guys want to parlay that up, uh, no value in it, but anyway, KO is gonna hit. So I know some people love to throw the heavy juice type stuff on there and parlay it up as well. Before we got here, gonna shout the chat real quick. As always, shout Tex Insider, Andre, member Zoe Faye, Nasty Nate was in here earlier. Shout you, Nasty Nate. What's going on, Nate?
Yes, sir.
Our guy Mario Barrios, and of course, Hangry Dana White. Angry Dana White. That'll do it for us, guys. We'll be back next week. We're gonna recap this weekend's fights. Pacheco. Yeah, we should be able to talk about anyway as well, which will be great.
Yeah. Yep, that'll be in the morning, early Tuesday.
Yeah, and then the following weekend we'll have the Canelo fight. The weekend after that we'll have the Joshua fight. So a couple big fights coming up shortly. If you guys could please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, like our buddy or Zoe Faye. If you guys would like to become a member, be very much appreciated. And drop your picks down below in the comment section. We love to see what you guys are on. We respond to all the comments and just see it all. So thank you guys much again. Shout you, Mario Barrios, for the late comment ad there. And we'll see you guys next week for another exciting edition of the main event on Talkin Hands. Peace, guys.